Since the momentous day this Monday when Chris Broussard officially became a member of this show, I've been waiting for a chance to do this. It's over between the Packers and Aaron Rodgers after this season. There's no saving it. There is nothing anyone's going to be able to do.
Do it again.
I think now official show predictions are coming out Monday. So I don't want to spoil anything, but as I'm inserting the data and trying to figure out who's going to be where, I'm leaning towards the Packers being in the Super Bowl for the first time in a decade with Aaron Rodgers as the quarterback. But even that, I do not think can salvage this relationship. Broussard, I've gone back at least once and rewatched that Aaron Rodgers press conference dissertation where he very clearly, calmly, and not concisely, because it was rather long, but cogently laid out his reasons for why he was upset, what he thinks happened, and how the relationship has soured between he and the front office. None of that is going to change because Rodgers and the Packers are awesome this year, as I think they will be. And if they're terrible or mediocre or just pretty good, obviously that wouldn't change it. And Broussard, what I think has further damaged the Packers' chances of retaining Aaron Rodgers is what we've seen over the last few months, reports from other teams. Like, hey, Arizona, when it came to their offseason moves, they consulted Kyler Murray. He's been with the team 2 years. Philly talked about how they used to consult with Wentz. Brady, we know, gets to Tampa Bay. What do you want, Tom? Sean Payton talked about how Drew Brees was essentially a de facto member of the coaching staff. So Aaron got confirmation, not that he needed it, that what he wanted and wants is not out of the norm for great quarterbacks, or even in Kyler and Wentz's case, young, new quarterbacks, but guys spent a high draft pick on. So, no, I don't think the relationship is salvageable, even if they make the Super Bowl.
All right, Nick, before I address your point, let me address your Kenny Smith / Chris Broussard imitation. It needs work, all right? It needs work, buddy. Okay. All right, you said you're going to be hunkered down, locked in the house, reading that almanac. Yeah. Work on that imitation, too. So I give you a C minus, all right? I give you a C minus for that. You can raise that up. But
better than I would have
Nick, I couldn't disagree more. Now, I'm not saying he's definitely staying. You'd be crazy to say he's definitely staying in Green Bay for the long haul. But I also think Aaron Rodgers is in a tremendous situation, and he's smart enough to know it. And I get what you'll say. Wherever Aaron Rodgers goes, they're going to have a chance to win the Super Bowl, and I'm with you on that. Okay. But that said, he's with a historic organization. He's got, obviously they need to re-sign Devontae Adams after this year. If that happens, he's got arguably the best wide receiver in the league. He's got one of the best running backs in the league, who just re-signed for a long-term deal. He's had one of the best offensive lines in the league recently. He's got a hot young coach who has led them to back-to-back NFC title games and 13-3 records. And he's got a top 10 defense. So I get that the relationship is jacked up and that's what was bothering him. But I do think there's enough time to mend the fences, at least to the point where Rodgers could stay, because, again, he's always said, Nick, I love it in Green Bay, and I hope to finish my career here. If this year goes well, I'm not talking even about on the field yet. I'm talking about in the relationship with Goody Coos. I call him Goody. He calls me Brew. We do that thing. So if Rodgers and Goody can get it together, and look, You mentioned a legendary press conference, right, with Rodgers. Rodgers unloaded on Goody. And what did Gutekunst do? He took it. And then the next day or two, whenever it was, he comes out and they sign Randall Cobb just because Aaron wanted him. And he admitted it. We did it because Aaron wanted it. Okay, that's why we did it. And so I think over this whole year, they got a whole year to mend the fences, to listen to Aaron, to hear his input, and make him feel like he's, definitely being heard in this organization. And then when they offer him a long-term extension with no outs early for them, that he knows he can be there long-term, I think there's a good chance they could keep him.
Well, let me throw a little curveball into this, because I think there's the relationship souring and all of that, which we've talked about ad nauseum all summer. There's another element to this that I think is intriguing and interesting, particularly when it comes to two of the teams that, if Aaron Rodgers were to be traded, would be at the top of the list. The Broncos, we know. Why did the Broncos not draft a quarterback, and now they didn't go with their young quarterback? They're going with Teddy. Well, maybe because they're trying to keep the door open for a Rodgers trade. And the Raiders also, they were potentially in on Russell Wilson, potentially could be in on Aaron Rodgers. Those two teams are noteworthy to me because those two teams are in the AFC West. And I do wonder if Rodgers, when he's thinking about what the rest of his career, what he wants to look like, he knows there is no catching Brady in the GOAT conversation, in the ring conversation, in the winning conversation. Brady has quadruple lapped the field and all of that, and quintuple lapped Rodgers with the 10 Super Bowl appearances to 1, 7 rings to 1. But Rodgers, even when Brady had 4 rings, 5 rings, he still had his own corner that was separate from Tom's. And that corner was what? Most talented quarterback we've ever seen. Most gifted quarterback we've ever seen. Well, Broussard, and this isn't the Kansas Cityan in me saying this, he's being, if not already totally, elbowed off that corner, right? By Patrick Mahomes. Now those honorifics go to Mahomes. They've never played each other. We were, one drive away from getting to see them play each other in the Super Bowl, and then it didn't happen. This year, November 7th, I think it's the game of the year. Happens to be on Fox in Arrowhead. Packers, Chiefs. Might be a Super Bowl preview. Maybe should have been a Super Bowl, do-over from what we could have gotten last year. I wonder if Rodgers, part of his motivation to get out of Green Bay, is to try to maybe be able to elbow Mahomes back off that corner. And what better way to do it? Denver has a lot of the things you mentioned Green Bay has. Denver doesn't have Devontae Adams, but they have 3 really good receivers. They potentially have a really good defense. Could that be a part of the math of, I'm not catching Brady, let me try to go take back what Mahomes has taken from me?
Man, I think that's really deep. Because here's the thing, Nick. He doesn't have to go to Mahomes' division to do that. He can do it in Green Bay.
But what better way?
And I'm with you on Mahomes. I'm with you on Mahomes taking that from Rodgers. But let's be honest, Rodgers went a long way in taking it back last year, right? If he plays again this year like he did last year, then I think now that becomes a new discussion where, well, maybe he is still more talented than Pat Mahomes. So I think that's that issue. Here's where I agree with you, Nick. I don't think winning the Super Bowl, if they were to do that, automatically means he would stay in Green Bay. I don't think his staying there is necessarily related to how successful they are this season. If they have another good year, lose in the NFC title game or second round of the playoffs, whatever, I think there's a chance he still could stay and try to win and take care of the unfinished business. If he wins the Super Bowl, he could rightfully say, look, I delivered the fans of Green Bay another Super Bowl. I've one-upped Brett Favre.
What else you
now
want?
I've got 2, he's got 1, and I'm leaving as a winner to go somewhere else and do it in another franchise. So I don't think a Super Bowl guarantees that he would stay. All I'm saying is this talk, I don't agree with the talk that he's definitely out of there because I think there's too much time for good things to happen.
What about this? What if the Packers traded Jordan Love? Would that be enough to move the needle to maybe say, okay, they believe in me. I'm the guy. I'm going to be here. Do you think that, Nick, quickly makes him stay?
I think that and trading Jordan Love and giving him the long-term Rodgers extension with guaranteed money where it's not a fake extension, yeah, of course, those are the things that would have to happen. But I think right now, if they were going to trade Jordan Love, they'd have done it this offseason when Rodgers was contemplating retirement. The fact that they didn't do it this offseason, his trade value is only going to go down further the longer removed he is from when he was drafted, because they hope he doesn't play this year. So, yeah, I think that would go a long way, Jenna. I just don't see that in the cards for the Packers at this point.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from First Things First, or go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.